Good morning, people of the web. This is Jason Wydrow, your host of OnlineStrategyPodcast.com. And today I have a little lesson for you on what a WordPress plugin really is. If you're not familiar with WordPress, I'll give you a quick overview of that. Think of WordPress as an engine, a car engine, with all the basic things you need to run a car. But in web terms, WordPress really originally started off as more or less a blogging software and has really transitioned over the years into a full-fledged content management website tool to build websites with. So you have the multi-purpose blog usage and at present full web capabilities, meaning you can add pages instead of just blog posts and things like that. In a nutshell, that's the very basics of WordPress. Now, I should say also that many of the features and the components of WordPress are very advanced, very easy to use, and really simplify the life of the business owner. And I should also mention that WordPress is used by some very, very big companies for some very important website uses. Now, all that aside, envision WordPress as an engine, as a website package out of the box. Let's envision WordPress as a blog system and a website right out of the box. And I'm going to analogize that with a car engine. So let's say, okay, you've got the car engine over here. It's got all the parts and everything. And we'll just say it's a brand new car engine. And it's got all these things, and it does all these specific things. It's got all these features, right? So WordPress, again, it's got a blog. You can build web pages and everything else with it. Now, one thing that WordPress has that's not part of WordPress, but it's something that extends WordPress. In other words, an analogy with the engine, let's say that you had a car engine and you wanted to add a feature to that engine that made the car go faster. Maybe there's some type of throttle device you can plug onto the engine that makes the car go 20 miles an hour faster. Now this is all hypothetical, but again, it's just for analogy purposes. So in WordPress, let's say that you used a third-party mailing service, to send out your emails, for example, and you wanted to collect emails from your WordPress website so that they were automatically added to your contact list in your mailing company, whatever third-party email list company you might use. So a lot of times, this is just a basic one example, and there are so many, I'm just going to go over a few different types here. But let's say that third-party company creates a tool for you to use, and it's called a plugin. And this plugin plugs right into the WordPress engine, if you will. And it more or less works right out of the box. Now, I'm going to just clarify that statement a little bit. Just like there could be a plugin for a car engine, and that same plugin could be made by 20 different people or 100 different people. And every person makes it a little bit different. One person makes it a certain way that suits a business owner's need. Another person makes it another way that suits a business owner's need. So it's, again, back to the analogy of the engine, of the speed plugin for the engine. Let's say that, one guy makes it so that the speed goes up 10 miles an hour, and one plugin makes it go 25, and one makes it go 50 mile an hour more. Well, which one do you need? Well, that's up to the business owner to decide. But keep in mind, with plugins, just as any other software and any other type of add-on that you add onto an existing thing, there can be conflicts. There can be problems that arise. Generally speaking, when you're using all different types of plugins, sometimes they can bump into each other. So let's say, again, back to the car engine. Okay, so let's say we have this plug-on that makes the car go 10 miles an hour faster. You plug it right onto the engine. It fits right in. Great, now your car goes 10 miles an hour faster. You're super happy about this. But then you need this you want this new exhaust thing, right? This new exhaust pipe that comes up and it curls over the front of the engine and it looks cool or whatever and comes out the hood. But so you buy this exhaust plug-in that plugs right onto this engine, right? So you drop it on, but you realize that this other plug-in that you already had to make the car go faster is sticking up maybe a little bit, and you try to put the pipe and plug the pipe on to where it's supposed to go, but it's not fitting right, and it's loose and something's quite a little bit wrong with it. So right there, in WordPress terms, it would be like a conflict, right? So maybe something's not exactly working like it should now because you got two things. Now, it can be an extreme case or it can be a minor case where it's a minor thing, and not all plugins conflict with each other. And there's actually specific development conventions that are supposed to be used when developing a WordPress plugin that really should be followed to the T, because it helps really alleviate and prevent any of those types of conflicts. In other words, it's kind of like a designer's code to follow when you're developing these features for WordPress. So I hope that was enough of a description of what a plugin is, because really, think of it as a plugin, think of it as an add-on, whatever way you want to think about it, but it's important to use the word plugin when you're referring to WordPress, because that really is the technical term in relation to WordPress and what you're actually doing to the software itself, how you're extending it. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something from this, and have a prosperous day.